last week the NBA decided their format, the 22-team format, and there were 6 additional teams included to that 16-team bubble, and that are going to Orlando in that bubble, and they can fight for that 8th seed in the playoffs. So, which team do you think is underrated to make the playoffs in the 8th seed this year?
Well, for me, I think it's the Kings. The Pelicans and Blazers, I don't think are underrated. And Spurs lost LaMarcus Aldridge, and the Suns aren't making it. I think the Kings have multiple players that can score 20 or more on any given night. You look at Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Marvin Bagley, Jabari Parker. So many people who will be able to score on any given night. And then you also have to look at the role players. They have Harrison Barnes, Yogi Ferrell, Kent Bazemore, Harry Giles, and Richaun Holmes. If they can just stay injury-free, they can cause a lot of damage in the play-in for the 8th seed.
Yeah, but this team has never made the playoffs in about 15 years, and I think last year was their best chance to make the playoffs, and now they have a new head coach. So, do you think like that plays a factor with Luke Walton and not?
I don't think so. They've played around 65 games, and I feel like by then you're pretty much integrated with the system of the coach. And I feel like the NBA and the NFL that's where coaches are really a big factor. When you look at the MLB, it's the general managers. In the NBA, it's mostly about the players. I don't think the coaching scheme is a huge deal, except when the team stinks. But other than that, I don't think that's going to play a huge part in this.
Okay, Alvin, what do you think?
I gotta disagree on this. I don't think the Pelicans are a team that's been talked about a lot. I think the Pelicans are a very underrated team. They have Zion, who had an amazing start to his career, averaging around 23.6 points per game. Brandon Ingram averaged 24.3 and was an All-Star this year. And then so Zion has amazing talent. Brandon Ingram is a future. So you might have 2 future All-Stars on that team. You can't even forget about Lonzo, Derek, and Drew Holiday. I haven't even talked about those players. Lonzo has been averaging 7 assists and he's been averaging 12.4 points per game. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for him, his standards, they're pretty good. Plus his 3-point percentage is off the charts. I mean, like people been making fun of him for his broke jump shot, but this is like he's been improving. I gotta admit. And then you still have, I mean, like, I know no one talks about him, but Derek Favors is averaging almost a double-double. Like, that's crazy. He's been averaging 9.9 rebounds and about to have 9.2 points per game. He's that close to averaging a double-double. I got Suns is a underrated team. Like, I get that, but like,
But do you think the Suns are making the playoffs?
No, I
The
don't
Phoenix Suns.
Yeah. But the Kings are okay, but I don't know if they can execute because of the lack of experience.
Yeah, but like I like your points and stuff, but I don't think the Pelicans are an underrated team. I think
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I think them and the
Go
Portland
ahead.
Trailblazers are one of the favorites to take that 8th seed from the Grizzlies. So I agree. I completely agree with your points and stuff. And now all those players are very good, but I don't think that team is an underrated team to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Alvin, you just proved my point. The Pelicans are not an underrated team. You said Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson can both be future All-Stars. I think they could be potential superstars. And when you have 2 potential superstars on that team, along with a handful of role players and an All-Star caliber player in Drew Holiday, I don't think that's an underrated team at all.
I mean, I think the reason why my point of them being underrated is because they're unexperienced at all. I don't think the closest person on that team that's been on a playoff team is JJ Redick. I think he has the most experience in the playoffs, and he's not. I mean, like he's not a leader on that team.
I believe it's leader in the locker room, but I still think the Pelicans are underrated. The Kings, I don't know if they might execute, but of all the teams, you have 5 teams: the Spurs, the Pelicans, the Trailblazers, the Kings, and the Suns. Suns and Spurs are not making it. Then you have to choose between Pelicans, Kings, and Trailblazers.
I mean,
Trailblazers are definitely not underrated, but you
the
know.
Spurs could make it if DeMar goes back to his old ways, where he was a killer back in the day. The
Yeah, but
Raptors? Nah,
they,
bro.
Yeah, but he did. They don't have enough pieces around DeMar
That,
DeRozan
that
now
is
that
the thing
Aldridge
is
is
that
out.
they could make it, but it is really hard because they're, I think, 5.5 games back of the 8th seed,
Yep,
and they
yep,
almost have to win every single game just to get to a play-in tournament.
yep. Especially with the fact that they've been out for 20 weeks, they have young and inexperienced players as well, and they don't have a veteran leader other than DeMar DeRozan who can really take over that game. I don't think they're going to have a chance to really make the playoffs.
I think as a team that's underrated is a conference you didn't talk about was the Eastern Conference, and they only have one team that's not in those 8 seeds, which is the Washington Wizards. I mean, you look at their team after the All-Star break. Bradley Beal has been on fire. He's almost had 30 points in every game, and there's rumors about John Wall coming back, so that might just improve their roster. And if you look at the standings in the East, the Magic are the 8th seed right now, and they're not a very good team. They're not really well orchestrated, and the Nets are right above them. They lost Kyrie and KD for the rest of the season, so the Washington Wizards can take that 8th seed, but it is hard for them because when you look at their schedule, if the NBA goes back to the normal schedule and tries to uh, duplicate that schedule that they had before the season got suspended, they will face the Bucks twice, the Celtics twice, and the Philadelphia 76ers and Oklahoma City Thunder. So they have a very hard schedule, but I think they could make the playoffs and go against the Magic in a play-in tournament and get the 8th seed.
Do you really think that? I mean, the Washington Wizards are like they're 5.5 games back. They have to win almost like 7 out of 8 games to even have a chance at Orlando, unless Orlando loses a bunch of their games.
Yeah, but Orlando is not, like, let's be honest, Orlando is not that good of a team, and
Neither is Washington at this point.
Washington they can come back because they have Bradley Beal, who I think should have
I
been an
mean,
All-Star.
look, Bradley Beal doesn't have weapons around him. I gotta agree with Jason on this one. I mean, Bradley Beal, he's good. He's good. He's second ranked in most points per game, but you gotta
But
think
you can't win with just one player.
yeah. I mean, LeBron did it, but Bradley Beal's not LeBron caliber type. He's not. He's not the guy who's
Yep,
gonna carry them to a 7 game series and win that thing.
Yeah,
yep,
but
I agree with them.
I think the reason why the Wizards can make it is because the East is not a very good conference, and you look at the teams above them, it's the Nets and the Magic, and now the Nets they can be good because they have been a really good team the past couple of years, but the Magic they've just been a team that's barely making the playoffs every season. So I think they could, but like y'all said, he's not LeBron and he can't win these 7 to 8 games. But I think if it all goes well, they could make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they're only playing playoff caliber teams. There's not going to be any easy schedule, so I don't think they will make the playoffs. That's my take.
Okay, so which teams do you think are the favorites to take the 8th seed? Let's start with you, Alvin.
I gotta go. Uh, I know for sure the Grizzlies won't hold on to that 8 seed, but I think the Trailblazers might take it because the Trailblazers have Dame, CJ, Hassan. They're stacked. I don't know if the Grizzlies can execute because they have a rookie as their point. I mean, rookie Ja. I don't think he can. I just don't know. I don't think he can take all that pressure on him just to maintain that 8 seed. I think the Trailblazers will equally match up with LeBron and make them fight for the next round placement.
What about the East? Who do you have?
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I think the Magic will win. I'm sorry, Jeremy, but I think the Magic will win. Will keep that 8 seed, and I think they will do. I think they'll make the Bucks fight for their. I mean, they'll probably win one game, maybe two if they're lucky. But I don't see them going that far. But if the Wizards matched up, no, they would get swept. I think. But it's gonna be hard either way. I think the Buck. It doesn't matter who the 8 seed is. The Bucks are gonna win anyways.
Yep, I agree with Alvin. I'm taking the Trailblazers to win that 8 seed. I mean, it's pretty obvious. As much as John Morant has shown that he wants the NBA to return with his TikToks and everything, it's obvious that the Trailblazers are going to win in the 8 seed unless more injuries come. I mean, Yusuf Nurkic and Zach Collins are coming back, and Nurkic was a beast when he last played. When you look at their team, they now have Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Hassan Whiteside, Yusuf Nurkic, Zach Collins, Carmelo Anthony. They have so many pieces. And they have other role players like Trevor Ariza and Gary Trent Jr. There's so many deadly pieces that will allow them to take the 8th seed. I really think that the hiatus, the pause in the NBA season was a blessing for these Blazers teams.
One thing I think you think Yusuf Nurkic could be a quality starter after this injury. I think Hassan Whiteside has proven himself as a good center in this league.
Yeah, I think Hassan Whiteside kind of revived his career because last
Yeah.
year in Miami he wasn't doing that good and he got shipped off to Portland and he's been doing good. And you don't know about Yusuf Nurkic because he hasn't played in over a year, so you don't know if he's gonna come back to the form he was at when before he got injured.
He could be a quality six man, but I don't see him as a
Yeah.
starter in this league.
Yeah, I don't. I agree with both of you. I think not playing in over a year because that catastrophic injury that he had, I think it may be a problem for him as he comes back. But they still have 8 games to play. I feel like he'll be able to get in the rhythm of things. He won't be a starter immediately. Maybe once he gets integrated into more games, he may be. But for now, I think Hassan Whiteside will be the starter at center while becomes a sixth man.
And do you agree with Alvin even for the East? Do you think the Magic can still hold down that 8 seed?
Yep. I mean, the Wizards don't have enough pieces to contend into the playoffs when the Magic already have the 8th seed, being 5.5 games back. I don't think the Wizards will make the playoffs. The Magic will either get swept or will only win one game against the Bucks, and it'll be pretty simple after that.
But I gotta give props to the Wizards. I mean, Bradley Beal has taken that team, and I haven't expected them to win that much games because there's no pieces around Bradley Beal. Who knows
Yep.
if John
So
Wall even comes back to his like full potential like he was before he was injured.
yeah, his injury, they've reported that he won't be playing this year, but I don't think you should give props to the Wizards. I think you just give props to Bradley Beal. You know what I'm saying? The way he's been able to carry that team, it's incredible. It's too bad they haven't been
Yeah,
able to get the wins to represent it.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, he should be. I don't want to say he's like MVP talks, but like, there's no way. I don't remember LeBron averaging like around 50 points a week. I mean, like just one week he averaged 50 points. I don't remember LeBron ever doing that.
yeah. I think Bradley Beal has like made himself a very good player in this league, and he's still young. I mean, he's what 27 something. So I think
26, something like that.
yeah. So he's still young and he can improve his game. So, and he said he wants to stay with the Wizards even though there's trade rumors going around. But for the 8th seed, I have to completely agree with you guys. I mean, you look at the West and there's really two teams that are contending for that 8th spot, and that's the Portland Trailblazers and the New Orleans Pelicans. And when it comes, why I picked the Trailblazers is because when it comes down to these clutch situations, Portland Trailblazers have been in that situation. I mean, you can look at the playoffs, like Game 7 versus the Nuggets. They beat them out, so they know what that situation is like to be in that situation of almost losing and going home for the rest of the season. So I think because of that experience, they can go to the playoffs. And the New Orleans Pelicans, they haven't had that. They have couple players like JJ Redick and Derek Favors that have made the playoffs, but they're valuable players like Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram haven't made the playoffs, so I don't think they could make the playoffs for the East. Like you guys said, I think the Magic can still hold it down, but the Wizards are creeping up. I think they could, if they play a playing tournament, they could go in and take a game before the Magic take the second game. But there's one kind of there's something that the NBA has been not really talking about. There's rumors about NBA wanting Zion in the playoffs because they want more money. So you might see Zion go to the playoffs and just bad like referee calls for each game, just so the Pelicans can win and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Zion is someone who can bring that a lot of money. We're talking about like LeBron James too. He's that much hype. He had that much hype. You know how we all know how much hype LeBron had in the league in high school. This is the same hype we're talking about when Zion was in college. He was getting. I mean, there's even lawsuits about colleges. I mean, Duke paying him, Nike paying him, all these companies paying him before he even made it to the league. I get that the NBA wants Zion in that league because Zion in the playoffs because they want that money. But what happened to the good old basketball? What happened to those? I mean, like equal cause. Those. I mean, nowadays it's just about all that popularity, money,
Yeah,
and all that. But I just want to see good old basketball. That's all I want to see.
yeah. I mean, you look at Zion, he's having absurd numbers. He's averaging like 20 points or something, and he's only been in the league for about a month. And uh, they are a very young team, and the NBA does want Zion in the playoffs. But like you said, I just want to see normal basketball. Some of these games, like the Portland Trailblazers versus the Utah Jazz, that goaltending game, I think though that's like an example of like them trying to give a game to another team, which in that case was the Utah Jazz.
Okay, well, let's say they do not get Zion into the playoffs, and the Portland Trailblazers do. Do you think they could challenge the Lakers and cause some worry for the Lakers, who have pretty much locked up the number one seed? Do you think they'll cause any problems for them?
So the Pelicans.
No, the Trailblazers.
Yeah, the Trailblazers, I mean, you look at last season, they've been all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So they had playoff experience. But the Lakers are just too much for them because the Trailblazers have injuries. You look at Rodney Hood, Zach Collins, Yusuf Nurkic, they just go down with injuries. And they could take about couple games maybe from the Lakers, but the Lakers probably would win.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it'll be hard, but I don't know. Maybe the Lakers choke or something. Like LeBron's known for, choking in the playoffs.
Or he
You
could
never,
get injured. We never
yeah,
know.
yeah, anything can happen. I mean, Anthony Davis. If Anthony Davis gets injured, I mean, LeBron isn't. LeBron is screwed. I just can't. LeBron relies on Anthony Davis.
The
I
thing
mean,
about LeBron though is that he's never lost in the first round. So I don't think we expect him to lose in the first round.
this year's been crazy. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah, I guess the Blazers could take a couple games from them, but I don't think they'll cause enough problems to potentially win the series.